S.S.S. Vayishlach, Shin Pei Beis. The nice thing about being in Bikur Cholim is that last week we had a grand celebration for our 600th straight Shir Baruch Hashem, and this week we have another grand celebration for 601. It's a beautiful Tayameh Kiddush every week, and we thank Bikur Cholim for their hospitality. So we come to Parshas Vayishlach, and somewhere in the middle of the Parsha, we find that Yaakov Avinu gets into a struggle with the Sar Shel Esav. Yaakov Avinu wants to cross over the river, and before the episode is over, Yaakov Avinu struggles. He gets into a scuffle with the Sar Shel Esav, and they struggle. And we know Yaakov Avinu gets injured, and after that all takes place, the Malach tells Yaakov Avinu something very interesting. Yaakov Avinu fights back, and the Malach tells Yaakov, Shalcheni ki ola hashachar. You gotta let me go. I gotta get out of here because it's morning. And Chazal tell us why did he have to leave? Because it was his morning. Because Higi Azman, the time came for the Malach to go back and say Shira. So he couldn't hang around and fight with Yaakov Avinu anymore. Right now I have to go back and I have to say Shira. So Yaakov Avinu, please let me go. I can't stay here anymore. And the Medrash tells us that each and every day Hashem creates new malachim to serve Him and to say Shira. Every single day, malachim are being created. Those malachim go, they do their job, and then they go ahead and say Shira. And once they're done with their job, they're over. It's done. A malach exists basically for one day. He comes into existence. He has a job to do, whether it's to help a yid do a mitzvah, whether it's to help a yid do a chesed. Malachim are created all the time. They do their job, they say Shira, and bye-bye, that's it. You have a one-day lifespan, it's over. So it would seem, if you look in our parsha, that it doesn't fit very well, because this malach that was fighting with Yaakov and now had reached morning, we know that he was around yesterday. Because he came, he was hanging around, he fought with Yaakov the night before, and now he came, was already the next day. So what does it mean that a malach only lasts for one day? We see that this malach sort of transcended that. He was sticking around for another day. And especially if this malach was, as we say, the Sar Shel Esav, the Sar Shel Esav we know was around for a long time. Sar Shel Esav was the influence of Esav, the life of Esav, the inspiration for Esav, and that was really many, many years he was hanging around with Esav. So he definitely wasn't a malach that came and went in one day. So in answer to that question, the Mefarshim tell us that, just good to know for information in case you ever meet malachim and stuff like that, that there are two different types of malachim. There are malachim who are, as we said, that they have a job, a single job, and they're there for that day, and they sing their shira, thank you for giving me the job, I accomplished my job, and they're gone. But there are other malachim that are permanent malachim, like we know, Malach Michael, Malach Gabriel, and the whole other list of malachim like that. They are always around. Those malachim were created, and they stick around. They are called the Sarim Shel Maila. They're running different things in the world. We know Michael has his job, Rafal, Gabriel. These malachim, they last forever. They stick around. So that's the other type of malach. The Sar Shel Esav, say the Mefarshim, the Sar Shel Esav is one of those malachim. It came into existence, and those malachim, they stick around for a longer time. And the Sar Shel Esav was one of those malachim. And those malachim also have a time to say Shira. They have a time. There is a certain point in their existence when now it's time to sing. It's time to praise Hashem. We'll go a little bit into what that is, but they also have a time to say Shira. And in our Parsha, that's what was happening right now. Although the Sar Shel Esav was around for a long time, he did a lot of stuff, but right now was his time to say Shira. This Malach was created a long time ago, and he had to say Shira. So of course, we have a question, and everybody you should have this question when you hear this episode in the Parsha. So 1 second. You're telling me the Sar Shel Esav, he was an old guy, right? He was around for many, many years. And all of a sudden now, when it came his time to be featured in the Parsha, all of a sudden now he's around for 2,000 years. And he's still around, he's probably still around today, right? The same Sar Shel Esav, the Satan, it says they're all one person. He's been around for 2,000 some odd years already. And 1 second, all of a sudden now, Yaakov shouldn't fall for that trick. I have to leave now with 2,000 years. You didn't have to go anywhere. And all of a sudden now, it seems a bit interesting that he has to leave at this second. So Nesivos Shalom answers this question with the Yisoid from the Koshin Tzemagid, Zechus HaYogan Aleinu, in the Sefer Avodas Yisrael, and he says it over from Chacham Echad. He heard it from a wise man. He has an answer to this question of why the Malach, the Sar Shel Esav, turned to Yaakov at this moment and said, Yaakov, it looks like Yaakov was winning this battle a little bit, and he said, I have to leave right now, and Yaakov believed him. He said, I have to leave and I have to go say Shira. Because what happened? What's a Malach doing when a Malach says Shira? Says the Koshin Tzemagid in the Sefer Avodas Yisrael. And he says, this Chacham Echad says, you know what a Malach is doing? When a Malach goes to say Shira, he's thanking Hashem for the opportunity to accomplish something and to bring Nachas Ruach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's able to do something, and he thanks Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Seems that every week we have a different way of saying thank you, Hashem. But now the Malach is saying thank you, Hashem, for this great opportunity for being able to give a Nachas Ruach and carry out the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this applies to all Malachim, even those who are around for a very long time. It comes their time. They're in existence for many years, but if they accomplish what they had to accomplish, they do their job of helping the Yid have Avas Hashem, have a Yid have Yiras Hashem, to do a Chesed, to do something good. They accomplish what they needed to do. So then it's their time. They go ahead and they say Shira when they're done, because they did now the Ratzon Hashem, what Hashem wants from them. So now let's look at the Sar Shel Esav. The Sar Shel Esav is the Satan. He's the Yetzer Hara. We know what his job is in this world. Hashem created the Yetzer Hara to entice people to sin, to entice people to do Averos. But what's the purpose? The purpose and the Tachlis is, of course, not that the person should do the Avera. The Satan comes to a person, the Yetzer Hara comes to a person. The purpose and the Ratzon Hashem is that you should face up to the challenge, and you should tell the Yetzer Hara, no. You should say, no, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm not going to go along with it. That's the Ratzon Hashem. So if a person, he follows the enticement of the Satan, then the Malach and the Satan has not accomplished the Ratzon Hashem. Ultimately, the Ratzon Hashem is that you and me and everyone should succeed in fighting the Yetzer Hara. So if somebody does, he overcomes the Yetzer Hara, that's a success. That's called a Nachas Ruach, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the success. So from the time that the Sar Shel Esav was created, the Yetzer Hara, the Satan, from the time that he was created, he was a very, very successful individual. He was able to get generations of people from the Dor HaMabul to the Dor HaPlaga, to the times of Avraham Avinu, the times of Yitzchak Avinu, from the other people who lived in the world. He was a very successful person for what he wanted to do. But he wasn't doing the Ratzon Hashem because people taka fell. People did Averos. The Sar Shel Esav never met someone that was as strong as Yaakov Avinu. He never met someone like the Torah says. The Torah says, Ki lo yochaloi. Whatever he tried with Yaakov Avinu, he could not do. He fought Yaakov Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu totally rejected the Yetzer Hara. He totally rejected the Sar Shel Esav. So now, the Sar Shel Esav was finally doing the Ratzon Hashem. So he turns to Yaakov Avinu, and he says, Yaakov Avinu, you won. Ki lo yochaloi, I couldn't defeat you, Yaakov. You rejected the Yetzer Hara. So shalcheni ki ola hashachar. Now is my time, my day. Yeah, he was around for 2,000 years. But Dafka at this moment, it's not some kind of trick that he's trying to tell Yaakov Avinu, let go. You were in a struggle over here. I'm afraid you're going to hurt me. No. This was Dafka, and I understand why he's telling Yaakov Avinu, I have to go, and I have to go sing Shira right now to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what's our lesson? The lesson that we have to take from the Malachim, the lesson we need to take from this episode in the Torah, is that every day, every single day, the Malachim are created to accomplish something just for that day. Every single day in our lives, Hashem set up the world that each and every day, only we can accomplish something that we can do on that day. The same way Malachim have a job, it doesn't just mean the Malachim got that job. That's the way Hashem set up the world. Thank goodness Hashem doesn't take us away after one day. But Hashem set up the world that each and every day, there's going to be opportunities that come in front of us. There's going to be chances to help somebody. There's going to be chances to learn something. There's going to be chances to be a good brother, a good sister, a good father, a good mother, a good person, to say a good word, to help someone out, to be dan l'kav zchus, to reject speaking Lashon Hara. Every day these opportunities come along, but we have to understand that we could do many great things in our lives, but you can never have today back. You can do it tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. Every single day, every single person has something that only they could accomplish, and only on that day. It's the job of the person and the job of that day. And you are living for that opportunity. You're living today for that opportunity. You can do great things every single day for the rest of your life. But if you don't do what you had to do on Thursday night of Parshas Vayishlach, you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you miss that day. Today is never coming back. It's never coming back. Erev Shabbos. Tonight, this day, remember, as you go into this day, the way you're going to prepare for Shabbos tomorrow, are you going to be on time? Are you going to go in all frazzled and all running into Shabbos? Are you going to come with a calmness? Are you going to be in shul before davening? All these things. You get one opportunity to do it tomorrow on Erev Shabbos. And it's like that with everything in life. And that's what the Malachim teach us in this week's Parsha. The Malachim teach us that every single day you have a job, and that's your job for that day. And the other Malachim teach us something too. The other Malachim teach us that sometimes it can take a long time to accomplish what you need to accomplish. But remember to be cognizant and always realize that when you do accomplish, when you do get something in your life, that minute it's your chance, it's your job to thank Hashem. The Malach finally accomplished after 2,000 years, he finally did the Ratzon Hashem. He said, Shalcheni, you have to send me away right now because I have to thank Hashem this minute. He gave me the opportunity to serve Him. He gave me the opportunity to be a nachas ruach to Hashem. I have to thank Hashem. Let's learn these lessons. Take the little deeper lessons out of this parsha. Such powerful lessons. Let's march another week and a half to Hanukkah. We have so much to grow. Next week in Bet Hashem we'll talk about Hanukkah. I want to wish everyone a good Shabbos, and hopefully you'll grow from the lessons of the Nesivos Shalom.